99 out the Fir Park Tunnel. Hello and welcome back. This is, I suppose, another edition of a little podcast that myself and Goggsy are doing. It's been just a little bit of time since we last done one, Goggsy.
Yeah, certainly we've been had many a question regarding to when our next one would be.
Yeah,
and of course on the new project we're wanting to start working on very soon.
Yeah, which has all had to be delayed,
but we're back.
We're back, yeah.
Yeah.
A few health problems, but yeah, we're back and
nothing
we're
too life threatening. So
no,
we're all good in the hood.
Yeah. And we're back up and running once again. So today we thought that, given the news last week of Alex McLeish's sacking, he's firing from the Scotland job.
I mean, we all know that he was sacked, wasn't he?
I mean, I don't think he would have wanted to leave.
No.
They did publicly say that health concerns was part of the problem.
Although people said that when he was reappointed. Yeah,
despite them actually going against that in the media and publicly saying throughout his tenure as Scotland manager that there was no health concerns. So it's a very strange and baffling one. It's just another...
it's just another statement that sums the SFA down to a T.
Yeah, it does just make them look like clowns again. It's embarrassing the way this whole situation's gone. However, we are obviously looking for a new manager. Mm-hmm. There have been a few names
already drawn out of a hat and just thought, let's make an article on this guy. We've not heard from him. In
there has, however, been some high calibre and some good managers publicly thrown their name in the ring.
Willingly or not, we don't know, but...
Well, I would presume that if they're going to the press and saying it, maybe. So we'll talk about them. We'll talk about the people who are odds-on favourites. We'll talk about how the rumour has it that Malky Mackay and, is it Gemmell, will take over as caretakers until somebody's appointed. Whether that means that they don't... I presume they probably don't think that there'll be somebody in charge for the Cyprus game
and Belgium
away.
Go
Certainly,
on, just give it Moisey till the end of the season.
Aye. Instead of give it Giggsy, we'll give it Moisey.
Give it Moisey.
Yeah. So I think the most logical place to start will be the sacking of Alex McLeish. How do you feel about that, Goggsy?
I mean, I think he was the wrong man to appoint from the word go.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think Gordon Strachan should not have been released.
This is where we differ in opinion.
Yeah.
I do think that Gordon Strachan's tenure was up. I think that it was time to move on from him. However, Alex McLeish was most definitely not the person that should have been appointed. I fully agree with that. I personally at the time think we should have went for a younger manager, somebody who was going to grow and develop with players like Robertson and Tierney. That's probably the route I would have went down.
However, I do see where you're coming from, but what if that had gone horribly wrong and that's basically destroyed the young manager's future career for the next few years at least?
I would beg to differ. Look at somebody like Gareth Southgate getting appointed as England manager.
Yeah. Naturally progressing like under 21 manager up to...
Right, now...
I mean, England have done that down to a T. They've done very well there.
Now, if we had have appointed... Now, I'm just going to throw names out here, not saying these are the people, but if we had have appointed maybe Jack Ross, an Alec Neil, Stephen Presley, a Robbie Nielsen, somebody of that sort of age that's going to progress. Even Paul Lambert's still young enough to progress along with a squad.
But I don't know if Paul Lambert's intelligent enough.
Not necessarily saying that these are the people that I would have appointed, because they're and I don't even necessarily think that it had to be a Scottish manager. Why not go look to Germany or somewhere where it's all about youth progression up through the ranks? Look how Germany did it back in 2006. Everything was, we'll bed these players in so that from that World Cup to the next World Cup to the next World Cup, we are winning something. And it was a natural progression with the same core group of players, for the most part, like your Ozils and Khediras and stuff, that were brought right the way through the age groups. why not
and they gelled well as a team.
Yeah.
And, I mean, how many players have we used since the start of the UEFA Nations League alone?
It's almost farcical. A massive loss for us was Alan McGregor choosing to retire as well.
Yeah.
That crippled us.
But then again, he's nearly 40.
Yeah. Now, I think Scott Bain's good enough, but he was thrown in at the deep end rather suddenly, where he had never really played with most of that, any of that back four, really. It's definitely, we've got a lot of really good young players. Scott McKenna, good young player. We've got people like Tierney, Robertson. We've got a lot of good young players coming through. Oliver Burke, another good young player. You've still got people like Christie and McGregor. All these players that are progressing. Ryan Fraser is the perfect example of a good young player progressing. And I feel like you need a manager who can get the best out of them, but is also going to look to progress them, not just for country, but for club, who's got their best interests at heart. And I think it will definitely be interesting to see where we ultimately go with it, I would say. Currently, the bookies' favourite for the job is David Moyes at 4-7. Then you've got Steve Clarke at 5-1. Scott Gemmell is also at 5-1. Then you've got Slaven Bilic at 8-1. And Sven-Goran Eriksson is at 10-1. So out of those 5 names, how many of them would you be happy with getting the job?
One. Slaven Bilic.
So you wouldn't be happy if David Moyes was appointed Scotland manager?
No, really. But although I would love Steve Clarke to be appointed as well, so make that too. But I don't want... Moyes said that he's open to being manager of Scotland, but he wants his next job to be a club job at that. But also, I just don't think he's done enough to show that he can do it on the big stage, the international
I think he could.
Stage.
I really think he could. I think he would be a good appointment.
Like, if he comes in and does a good job, I'd be more than happy to, because I want to actually watch this journey of a transitional period, because the whole thing behind Alex McLeish getting appointed, that is a transition period in itself.
So there's a couple of names that I would be happy to be appointed. David Moyes, Steve Clarke, Slaven Bilic, I'd be happy with them.
I'd love Bilic.
Any of them to be appointed. Looking further down at some of the other names, likes of Malky Mackay, Derek McInnes, Alan Pardew, Walter Smith, Michael O'Neill. Sean Maloney is a name that's absolutely out of left field.
No, that's just someone's just put £1 on it.
25-1. So there's been some money put on him. Paul Lambert, Alex Neil, Sam Allardyce, Joe Jordan, Michael Appleton, James McFadden, Ross Jack, Steve Evans, Craig Levine, Gordon Strachan, John Hughes. There is a few. Now there's a name that I would like to throw in here.
Who's going to say Dick Campbell out of us? I would love Dick Campbell.
It's not Dick Campbell, but a name that I would like to throw out there for the Scotland job is Shelley Kerr. What a fantastic job she's done with a women's national team.
Right.
Why not break ground? Why not appoint a woman as the national team manager? Why not try something totally new and different? It's worth a go at this point.
I mean, we've got nothing else to lose. I'm for it.
She's getting the best out of a group of players in Scotland already. She's and
may I add, football is still not really a full-time job up in this country here.
No.
So getting the best out of some players in the national team in the women's game
she is
part-time. Imagine what she can do with full-time players. She's
doing phenomenal. And granted, we do have some gems. We've got people like Erin Cuthbert. We've got Jane Ross. We've got Kim Little,
Leanne Crichton.
There's a lot of really good Scottish players, but they've been progressed throughout the stages and they've been developed, and they're now going to other countries to play and playing at a really high level. And that's just to name a few of the players that will obviously come June be in France representing Scotland. Why not try something different? She's clearly got a pedigree as an international manager. She's turned Scotland from a team that was never fantastic kind of on the cusp of qualifying. Does this not sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
On the cusp of qualifying for major international tournaments, would lose at playoffs or just fall shy and not quite get to the playoffs. For years, that was how the Scotland's women's national team was. Over the last couple of years, we've made it to a World Cup. We're now in the Euros.
Yeah.
We're progressing as a nation. And granted, it would probably not help Scotland's women's national team, but I have no objections to somebody like Shelley Kerr getting an interview and possibly even being the next Scotland manager. I think she would shake things up, and I think it would maybe be a different attitude from a lot of players. I think players would want to be part of something special because it's never been done before. There has never been on that international stage a female coach. Could you imagine Shelley Kerr taking Scotland to a World Cup in Qatar? Could you imagine the outrage that there would be because she is a female? I think it would be brilliant. Everyone would want Scotland to win. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone would want them to do.
I mean, everyone does already.
Yeah, but
that would just amplify it completely.
You would have English people and Irish people and stuff that, to make politically, they would want to be making a stance against,
especially in a nation like Qatar.
Yeah, I just think I can just see it.
They look at women as if they're just a bit of dirt on their shoe.
I could see that.
It'd be absolutely phenomenal.
And actually, I don't know if you've seen any of her work with BBC recently, Shelley Kerr.
I've not managed to see that. She's done little bits and pieces with the BBC for just the football stuff. She appeared on some stuff. She was the Hearts Inverness game, the semi-final. She was on the coverage for that. She was really good. So she's a good talker. She clearly knows what she's doing. So that's a name I'd like to throw into the hat is Shelley Kerr. Fair play, absolutely fair play.
Is there anyone in specific you'd like to make a case for, Goggsy?
A Scottish granny.
A Scottish granny,
because we always talk about the world-class players and we always say, oh, does he have a Scottish granny?
So getting a Scottish granny.
If I just get my granny and she knows hee-haw about the beautiful game. But
who's the closest in terms of Scottish manager to a Scottish granny? Maybe John Hughes, Yogi Bear.
Aye, he's basically the granddad of Scottish football.
I love the way that every time the job comes up, he goes to the BBC and he does a sit-down interview about why he should be Scotland manager. Shout out to John Hughes if you ever see this.
John Hughes is brilliant.
You might have been Falkirk manager, but I respect it.
Aye.
I mean, just get to him for the campaign. Who cares? We've got the Nations League to fall back on. We can appoint Slaven Bilic for that. It's fine.
What we want, though, is we want a manager to actually look up to, because it's been a while since we've actually had that sort of figure in Scottish football where we were like, I can look up to him and see what he does and take that on board, because I don't think many people took Gordon Strachan seriously enough.
In terms of the squad that we've got, is there any players that you think maybe need a specific type of manager to get the best out of them?
No idea.
So people like Ryan Fraser, Eddie Howe seems to get the best out of him. Do we need to play a specific style of football?
Well, for a starter, I mean, I don't even know half these players. I wouldn't recognise them if they passed me in the street.
What was the boy?
Liam Palmer.
Yeah,
that he played
fullback. He was dreadful.
Made his debut in Kazakhstan. I mean, he's never played European football in his life.
He, quite honestly, in the first 15 minutes, should have been subbed off. He was dreadful. Definitely. Absolutely dreadful. What I don't understand is why no Scotland manager has just gone, okay, Andy Robertson at left back, Kieran Tierney at right back. Just, who cares?
Oh.
Tierney can put a ball in with his right or left foot. If he needs to cut back and play it, fine. But just do it. Why would you not use your best players?
If he's a professional footballer, he should be versatile anyway.
Yeah. He's played right back previously for Scotland once when Callum Patterson went off injured. So,
and he played all right in that.
Aye. Playing him at centre half is nonsense. Go left back, right back, keep it simple. Even play Andy Robertson at right back if you've got to. Just keep it simple and do one or the other. In terms of centre halves, we're quite fortunate that we've got like Suter coming through, McKenna coming through. I would just play them as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Stop playing people like Charlie Mulgrew who's going to be done in a couple of seasons. What's the point?
His international career should be over anyway.
I think, personally, if you are over the age of 30 right now, you shouldn't be near our Scotland squad, in my personal opinion, because we have got a lot of players that are of the age of like
21, 22.
Yeah, like 19, 20, 21, 22. That sort of bracket, play them. Let them gel together as a collective. Okay, this tournament might not be great, but we've got the Nations League to fall back on. The next tournament, well, they've played God knows how many games together, how many friendlies. All that's going to happen is, as a group, they're going to get better. Do you remember...
it doesn't really matter about ranking at the moment.
No. Do you remember when Scotland were going through that hard spell with Strachan, and then he brought in the Celtic six? Yeah. Armstrong, McGregor, Tierney... Yeah. Hendry was one of them.
Everyone else, yeah.
Griffiths and Forrest, that was the six. He brought them all in, and like that, it changed. Like, things were different because we had that continuity about the squad, and I just feel like that's what we're missing now.
There's no consistency about the squad.
No, I mean, look at that. Stephen Fletcher comes in and he plays Albania and Israel. He was superb, to be fair.
He was superb over the 2 games.
Not even in the squad. Not even a mention of him. Why? What does Oliver McBurney offer, really?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Like, I've said this from day dot. I have not rated Oliver McBurney.
I think
he can score as many goals as he wants for Swansea, but he's not international standard.
Now, and I tell you exactly who I think he is. I think he's the 2018-2019's Chris Iwelumo.
Oh, yeah.
Who
completely agree,
who banged them in the Championship for Wolves, I think it was at the time. And then that was it.
McBurney's not even scored.
Nah, I would be inclined to say that I'd rather see somebody like Oliver Burke play there. Play with the false nine if you've got. We're a fluid team, and I mean,
we've got flair about us.
Like, why is Scott McTominay good enough to play against Barcelona and PSG for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but not good enough to play against Kazakhstan for Scotland? Do you want to tell me how that works? How can
it doesn't? That's the thing.
Like, you should realistically be playing your best players. So that means people like Armstrong are in, Fraser's in, Forrest's in, McGregor, McTominay, Tierney, Robertson, McKenna, Bain. Realistically, you've only got that striker spot to worry about, and a centre half. Well, probably John Souttar plays it, and then a striker. But within that squad, we've got plenty of players who can step up when needed. I just don't think we utilise our squad enough.
When I was over in San Marino, I got the programme and I was looking through the squad list of Scotland players, and I counted 7 goals between the whole squad.
It is a problem. It really is. But what Scottish strikers banging them in right now? Really?
Not many.
No.
I mean, Lee Griffiths has had that extended break.
I think when he comes back, he'll be a welcome addition. But again, I think he's getting too old, so it's only going to be for how long? And unless somebody gets converted to a striker, maybe Stephen Dobbie will be the answer. Do you know what I mean?
Well.
Do you know what I mean? If you look up and down the Premiership, who is there really that's Scottish that's banging them in?
See, Celtic have got that odds-on Edward, so that's that question out.
Timothy Weah's their other choice.
Weah, he's American.
Yeah.
Rangers, who
Morelos and Defoe.
Colombian, Defoe English. Aberdeen, they've got Cosgrove, who's English. Killie have got Eamon Brophy,
who's
Scottish.
Is he? But does he not represent Ireland at youth levels? I
have
think.
No idea. Who else? Chris Boyd.
Do
you want Chris Boyd back?
No, thank you.
Unless they've got a pie behind the
who else is that? Motherwell, Hughes have got.
We've got nobody scoring goals anyway, apart from David Turnbull.
Yeah.
Who else?
It's getting difficult. Hearts have got.
St John's have got Chris Kane, who misses more chances than I've had.
Hearts have got. Uche Ikpeazu. We obviously miss Stephen Naismith. Maisie is a big miss. Who I would have up front if fit and healthy. But again,
what's wrong with him at the moment?
I think he done his cruciate or something along those lines. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what it is that's actually wrong with them. Anyway,
let's go for a break.
Yeah, for all the lovely listeners live on Boom Radio, we'll take a short break with a fine mess, because I think that is pretty appropriate.